Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to MX Simulator, where today we're going to play Dew Island by JGMX, the Dr. Dew boys and JGMX combined to make this unbelievable track, this unbelievable facility, really, because there's a lot of tracks on it. So I'm actually going to start the video today by showing you some pre-recorded Supercross laps, and we're going to do the two national tracks and a couple other things to kind of explore the compound. But let's jump into these Supercross tracks and talk about them. I believe that this is the SX1 track. I'm trying to remember if I have them in order or not. I just kind of threw laps together. But yeah, JGMX, longtime track creator, forum member of the MX Simulator community, has been pumping out some sick tracks for a very long time, and the Dr. Dew guys have been helping him out with some good stuff as well. So yeah, just decided to download this track and see what it was all about. I know that the Dr. Dew guys have been putting a lot of reels and cool things together on this track for some time, and then this track dropped, let me think, maybe 2 weeks ago now. And so I picked it up maybe like a week ago, played it once or twice, and then was like, all right, I got to sit down and actually make a long form video about this track because it's pretty darn gnarly. But yeah, this first Supercross track, what I like about all the Supercross tracks that he has on them, he has 3 Supercross tracks, 2 Arena Cross tracks, and 2 national tracks. So that's what, 7 tracks in total, endless possibilities of fun. But the Supercross tracks in particular, I should say, a lot of options on them. Like you could do doubles, triples, quads, even some have like 5s in the middle of the rhythm section, so you don't have to stick to one line. And I think that that would actually lend to some really good racing on the track, or on any of the tracks really. But each of them have like some unique flavor to it. Like that first track is very kind of just like standard Supercross. It does have the one jump after the finish line that launches over the hill and then comes back, but this one utilizes much more of a hillside and kind of even has some outdoor elements to it. So I think that this is the second SX track. I basically just went in order from north to south on the map when I did these layouts, and I ignore the time in the upper left hand corner of your screen. That basically is, I sat here for a very long time with the game open and didn't realize it, and then came back and was like, oh, I got to record these, and didn't realize how long the game had been open for. But again, a lot of different options. The whoops are very spread out and quite easy to hit, so that's kind of nice because I suck in the whoops lately. And then like even right here, you could go double 3-4 or go inside roll 3-4-1. And then again, utilizing the hillside elements on this track, jumping up this step up, U-turn at the top of the hill, and then a little scrubber back down off. Just, I love little subtle elevation changes on Supercross track. Like I don't want the whole track to be up and down all around, but little subtle ones like that are great additions to the tracks, in my opinion. This is maybe one of my favorite Supercross tracks, like maybe ever. This one is so fun. Again, utilizes some offhanded elements, but again, the rhythm section, so many options. You could roll in there and go over table. I instead go step on quad single, and then you could even go quad 5 in that section if you wanted to. You go outside and go triple double or double triple, jump into the sand section here, and then a nice little flowy sand section. And I love this little section right here. Hip table to the right, and then a little hip step up back down the hill. So fun if you get that right. Don't even clip the tire or something like that. It's a lot of fun. And then a little double through the sand section. Jump this big triple, come up a little bit short. I was just trying to kind of get some laps to show off the track, so I didn't really put in like my best laps ever, but I think all these laps kind of show what each track offers and the elements that are available on it. But yeah, like you have like basically your standard Supercross track right here, and it's just meshed with like an outdoor section. So it's almost kind of like the Daytona mix-up of tracks that we normally see, where guys like will just add a Daytona section to a Supercross track. But the different lines available on this track are so fun. And yeah, the whole thing flows really well. So the last track I'll show you after this one here is the Arena Cross track. And it's the main one because there's a little bit of a special edition one that I'm going to show you guys at the end of this video. But this one is very simple. 4 lanes, dragons back into a finish line jump, U-turn into a long set of whoops. And actually got through these whoops halfway decent when I was struggling through them a lot in the video before that. But then this action right here, really fun to triple, quad, and then triple out in. Love that. And then I tried to a couple times go 4-5 in this first rhythm section, but instead just right here I go settle for the 4 and then 4-1. But a very, very fun track. The rhythm sections flow together very well, and then we jump you back over the finish line jump. And those are the 4 tracks that we're going to start off the video by showing you guys today. But let's jump in and actually do the national track. We got a national track. We got a sand national track, I think is what he called it. And then we've got a little special track to show off at the very end. But we've already seen 4 different tracks. This is the 5th one, and you know, we're 5 minutes into the video at this point. But this one's going to be a little bit of a longer one, I'd have to imagine, to show this one off, just because the track is very vast, very long, and I'm probably going to crash a lot because it has some massive jumps on it too. And I kind of want to, I'd really like to do 3 laps on this track and show it off. That might be a tad much because it's going to be like probably 10 more minutes of video just to show off 3 laps on this track. But I kind of wanted to show like many different elements that it has, because it actually has like the gnarliest split section I maybe ever have seen in a singular track. So I'll try to show that off, and then obviously show off the rest of the track. The only thing I don't like about this track is this corner right here. This double doesn't really lead you back onto the track. I almost jump off the track every single time on that little double right there. But other than that, the track flows together so well. Let's see if I can triple out of this corner. Yep, there we go. Oh, a little bit too long. So triple, I guess, through this section. Kind of like a little random mid-moto rhythm section that he throws at you. And I could have done a thing here where I did, you know, a decent lap on this track and a decent lap on the sand track. But again, because these tracks are so vast, like, almost wanted to talk you through them and like my thoughts and feelings of them. I would say borderline, this is the best assortment of 7 tracks put together in the game ever, maybe. And that's saying a lot because there's been some really good compounds. But dude, JG kills it. He's so good with track building and building stuff that flows. Like, I always put Checkers at the highest level of he figured out how to make flowy sections and a lot of rhythm lines, but JG is like right there, I gotta say, like with figuring out how to make a lot of different options, how to make stuff that actually fits together and doesn't feel like you're doing something that just is unnatural to the terrain or the flow of the track and what have you. So I love his tracks, man. They've always been so fun. Oh, I'm not gonna bring this back. Oh, yep. So I guess the main national track doesn't utilize a split lane. That's my bad. I hadn't played the main national track, but you can go left right there and jump over just a little bit of a volcano, just a small one, but maybe we'll do that in a little bit. I want to follow the main track here. So down this section, you carry a lot of speed. You still jump over part of the volcano right here. Little side bit of it here. You can see all the lava floating down. This is not the first time in MX Simulator history that we've seen a volcano track. In fact, probably one of the most popular, famous tracks of all time was a volcano track in 2014, maybe 2015, by Wolf MX or Wool FMX, depending on how you read his name on the forum. He had a couple ridiculously amazing tracks that had nothing to do with moto. We had a volcano track, we had a Dragon Ball Z track, we had a snake track, I think, or something like that. We had Rainbow Road from Wolf MX. He was all over the place and had some of the most creative ideas, I feel like, in the game's history, and bummer that we don't see him still building tracks in the game, but his stuff was great. And so again, this concept of the jumping over a volcano is not necessarily a new concept, but I always appreciate when I see it come back around, because it just is it's like a creative idea. It's not just another moto track. It's JGMX thinking outside the box here a little bit and doing something fun. But I'm actually curious, I should have talked to Joey or somebody at Dr. Dew about this beforehand, as to whether or not them, you know, working with JG to build this track, if they were the ones that were like coming up with ideas and saying, hey, JG, can you try this? Can you build us this? Can you do this? Like I said, I'd be keen to know, like, whether or not they were like had a big hand in the design philosophy, or whether they just kind of said, hey, JG, like, we know you're good at this stuff, so you just take it and run with it, and we're happy with whatever you produce for us, which is probably what I would do if I was telling JG to build me a compound. I would just be like, hey, man, you're good. Like, go crazy, have some fun with it, build something sick, and would be keen to play the heck out of it for sure. All right, so we're almost done with one full lap here of the national track. You jump over this little step up right here, and you're done with the lap. Couple things I'll talk about with the track so far that, you know, I like or dislike. I like how technical he's made kind of like everything, where you have to be, I feel like, pretty precise to clear some stuff and not go too far or too short. Like this one, yeah, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but if you go a little bit too long, you're having a bad time, and a little short, you're probably also having a bad time. So in one regard, I like it because I'm very good at the game. So I don't really have a problem with like downsiding jumps like this and feeling where the speed level is for each jump on the track and stuff like that. But I feel like maybe beginner players would be a little bit frustrated with that concept of it, just because they, you know, kind of only have like on or off buttons sometimes. So I like it. I would be keen to know whether you guys like how like technical and peaky everything is. I think it's a good addition or good element to add to this track to kind of make it a little bit more flavorful. But curious what you guys think. Looks like we have Sunday Fun Day. Subscribe, enjoy. So this is a limb races? I don't think I've ever even seen this from Dr. Dew. Limb race every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. 100% of donations go to pot size, and then they have an official podium. So Sunday Fun Day, check it out, Dr. Dew. They do some awesome stuff over there, and appreciate all the content they've been putting out. But I like the peakiness of the jumps. I like the how calculated you have to be to land in certain zones and stuff like that. And then I generally like how, you know, a lot of tracks that are especially this big, they'll just kind of go all out and build like the biggest stuff. Like there's no rhyme or reason to some of it. Sometimes it's just like as fast as you possibly can hit jumps, and we're going to throw big booters. But JG, I feel like takes that and just like twists it the other direction and kind of says, actually, you don't need to be going as fast as you possibly can on any of these things. The idea is that we're going to get you to check up a little bit so you can think about, you know, laying over big whips on these jumps. You don't have to hit it wide open and hope you have enough speed. You're going to have enough speed. It's just about, you know, finding the right landing spot and what have you. Like that jump is maybe the biggest jump on the track aside from jumping over the volcano, but like even this one, I feel like I have to check up for quite a bit, and I'm going to jump off the side of the track here like an idiot, but I don't feel like I could hit that jump wide open and be comfortable. Like I would be very nervous about going long unless I cased the two jumps before it. So again, I like that because instead of just knock down, drag out wide open as fast as you possibly can hit it on every section, it's kind of like a little bit more thought-provoking and makes you actually kind of learn a couple skill sets about the game you don't feel like are actually skill sets, but in reality they are. Like you have to be very precise to be good at this game, and to learn it at this scale might feel just like, oh, we're just having fun hitting big jumps, but it actually kind of also tricks your brain to be a little bit better at small scale stuff too. So when you get to the point where you're trying to get better at supercross tracks and stuff like that, you're better at timing in general because you know what the feel of big jumps is like. So smaller jumps should be simpler, right? It's maybe a little bit too in depth for this because it just is a fun track, but again, I think it is a skill set that you can quietly learn on stuff like this that, again, you probably wouldn't even know you're really picking up on stuff like that until you go and you're like, oh man, I feel a lot more comfortable on a supercross track after, you know, going wide open on the Dr. Dew compound and flying around the racetrack like nobody's business. So yeah, I like that element for sure. I'm going to try to do one more lap on this track. Like I said, I'd like to do 3 laps to show off all the stuff, including jumping over the volcano, but I don't want to spend too much time because I just don't want this to turn into like a 30-minute video. I do want to get over to the sand track, and we'll do that in just a minute. Oh, going a little bit long. See, again, this one right here, I went too long, and I was almost complete stop at the bottom of that jump. So you really have to think about your lines, think about your choices going into stuff. And as a skilled player, that I like that, but maybe you don't. Maybe you like the wide open jump as far as you possibly can stuff on some of the tracks, which honestly JG does have a couple tracks like that, but majority of his tracks do have this kind of, you don't need to be going wide open. It's much more flowy type of track feel to him. So let's do one more lap. Let's try to kick out a few nice little whips on some of these jumps. I've never seen if you can triple all the way to this corner. I guess you can, but you're going to crash immediately. I like that inside-outside option that he has right there. I love when off cambers, they build that nice big rut that you can lay into on the inside. But he even gives the outside option a pretty good pull here. And then we just got, it's roller city through this entire straightaway, jump over this hill. Oh, yard sale. Jeez, that was a big one. Rear tire just caught. But if you land that double nice and smooth right here, you can carry so much speed up this next hill and just jump all the way over the top of it. Like I might still be able to get enough speed from right here to go this way and triple. Yep. Got it. I do like this inside rut just because more keen to check up and do inside stuff, but it is tough to navigate getting back to the right direction of the track. All right, let's see if I can nail this triple this time. There we go. And quad. Triple out. Okay, so I guess that would be 3, 4, and then maybe 4, like over that last knuckle right there. That'd be a pretty flowy rhythm section if you can get it. Not easy though, that's for sure. And then we're just gonna slosh around in the sand a little bit. I haven't gone to this outside yet, so I'll go out here. I don't even know. I guess you would just step up onto the table and then step off, step into the corner. I can't land on this inside rut for some reason. I miss it every time. I don't think that it's the end of the world. All right, pop over this, step up. Oh, just not quite able to downside it. And then this jump is a ton of fun right here. Very big floater. Easy to just kick out a nice little whip and comes back to you. All right, let's go over the volcano, shall we? Gonna turn off of this jump here to the left after we throw a nice saucy whip. Double across and backflip it. Let's do it. Can we get all the way over? Oh, we're gonna be a tiny bit short. I didn't fall off the bike, but went down anyway. Made it all the way over the volcano, though. That was fun. I'm gonna skip out from the rest of this lap here and land in some lava. Jump out and go ride this track over here. This is the sand track. I think it goes this way. Do I have it backwards? Might as well just go over to where the finish line jump is. Make sure I got this correct. Because I know which way the finish line goes, and I know where the finish line is on the track, so I might as well just do that instead of going the wrong direction on the track for eons. Alright. So through here, off of this, and let's go around the sand track. Tabletop over the finish line jump, and this track has a lot of sand elements to it, which is basically just high-speed sand rollers, but JGMX mixes a lot of kind of floater jumps and other stuff like that around on this track, which I like the feel of. Kind of breaks up the high-speed nature of it a little bit. Got a little table right there, for example, and then land on the throttle, get to this inside. Over this little rise. So this one is more, again, maybe, probably, I guess you'd call it skill-based, because there is some jumps, but it's not quite like the fun, big whips that the main track has. Can I get all the way up this? Oh, just can't quite get over that ledge right there. Ooh. Down into this corner, swoop it around. Whoop, whoop. We're good. Nailed it. Front tire caught on a ledge right there and almost sent me for a bit of a ride. Got some nice floater jumps though. Even though it's sandy, it still like kind of floats the rear end out quite nicely on some of these jumps, which is pretty cool because like sand, you wouldn't associate sand with like whip jumps, but I'll tell you one thing that JG does perfect with his jump faces, and this is a lesson to any of you guys out there building MX Simulator tracks. If you want whip jumps, and if you don't want just like straight air type jumps or ones that you can maybe only scrub, build the lip up to where about, let's say 5 feet from the top of the jump, it has like a tiny knuckle, like a tiny little knuckle where like the steepest part of the jump is actually like ends 5 feet before the top, and it kind of starts rolling towards the lip, and you can still have a sharp edge lip, like where it just kind of disappears into like a tabletop or, you know, a double jump or something like that. But if you kind of roll that last little bit of your face of the jump out slightly, it kind of gives you the option to like initiate a whip before you take off so that the like suspension kind of decompresses and starts floating. And JG does that so well. Like almost all of his jumps that are tall and peaky have that, where like you go into it and you think like, this jump is going to have like an awkward pitch to it or something like that. I don't know if I really want to send it. And then you still go for a whip, and then you feel the rear end just kind of float out. That's all based on how he designs the lip and the face of the jump. And he's done that so well for years. Like honestly, some of his like 2016 tracks, when he was first starting to make tracks, that was one of the best elements that he had on his tracks when he was really figuring it out. And now he's gotten so good at basically element design. Obviously, he's gotten really good at why can't I think of it? Landscape or whatever you call it. Environment. That's what I'm trying to say. But he's really good at designing tracks that flow, have good feel, look good, and also have like the high-end stuff that you expect to see out of like the best track creators in the game. And at this point, JGMX is probably, I would say, top 5, if not top 3 all-time track creator in the game with the work that he's done and how well he's put everything together on these tracks. So kudos to him for amazing work over the years. Continues to do a good job. I believe he has a donation link on his page somewhere that you guys can check out and thank him for all the work that he does, because he puts out all these tracks for free. I don't remember if he's ever had a paid track, but he's always put out just incredible content for free, and the community certainly appreciates the efforts that he's gone through to give us so much fun over the years. A little bit long on that guy. So I'm going to try to finish off one more lap on the sand track, and then we're going to go check out a little Easter egg surprise that he left for us. And you might have already seen it, because we've gone near it a couple times. So you probably pause the video, let's say halfway in, and we're like, what's that right there? Well, we'll go back to it in a minute. Wanted to try to actually have a decent full lap on this track. Very fast and flowy sand track. I think this one, maybe I would say, compared to the Dr. Dew main track, whatever you want to call it, this one doesn't probably race as well, just because it's kind of like almost constant turns. Like there's a couple like straightaways, but otherwise it's a very turning sand track. And with that, it kind of, I don't know, pigeonholes into not necessarily main lines, but like at least on straightaways and stuff, like everyone's going kind of the same area. And then, yeah, maybe you split up for these corners and stuff like that, but I don't know that this would race all that well. I don't know. I'd be keen to try it, though, if anyone is ever interested in hopping in a lobby together. Let's see if I can launch out to this roller. Oh! Sand is also nice and forgiving like that, too, where you can jump way out to almost flat and doesn't have an instant legs. It's always nice. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I have legs anyway. Almost had a good whole complete lap. And then we'll be on our way to checking out some surprises. Great environment, great tracks overall. And kudos to Dr. Dew and JGMX for coming together on this awesome project. I love that little floater to the inside right there. Through the rocks. Step up. Step down. Let's kick out a big one. Oh, greasy. Love just dragging some rear brake on those two. All right, let's go check out our finale, our surprise. We've also got some cool little like ruts in the middle here. And if you've ever looked for a track that has the most possible transfers, this one might have it, because there's a lot of options available here. What is this? Inside the volcano, another track? He's hidden an arena cross track in the volcano. Watch your piggies, watch your toes, and watch your nose. You do not want to get stuck down here, because you will have a bad time, my friend. It is hot and spicy in the volcano. This is a new take on it, though. I don't think I've ever seen anyone build a track inside the volcano. Like I said, I've seen many volcano tracks, but I don't know that I've seen a volcano or a track in the volcano. So this is it's pretty cool to see what he's done here. I've already seen this a couple times on the Dr. Dew socials. Triple onto this guy, step off, double. Can you triple this? Yeah, okay, you can triple that. And then just a step on, step off right here. Just a nice little volcano track. Just simple, some whoops, some turns. And like kind of even built it so that you have to take certain lines, as you can see if you roll into that section that I was just laying in front of. Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. So this is really cool to see this concept come to life. And like I said, man, this is just all around a very good job by JGMX. And really cool to see 7 tracks put together into one. A lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears, I'm sure, went into this track, and I think it was all worth it, because this is one of the better tracks ever. He could have released all 7 of these tracks individually, and people would be like, "Man, JGMX, another banger." But instead, he's like, "You know what? We're going in deep today, folks. We're gonna go all out and give the Dew Boys something to be proud about." And I think they should be, because this is a fantastic facility for them that will last in infamy with their name on it for years to come. It's gonna be like the Race Tech facility. Everyone played that for decades, it seems like, and it wasn't even a Race Tech track. It wasn't even a Checkers track. It's just somebody named it a Race Tech facility, and everyone played that for years. Now people play the Dr. Dew facility. It's like the Sim Bros Steve's facility, but now Dr. Dew has their own place they can call home. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Kellen SYS channel. Long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one today. Man, this track is sick. So much fun. Shout out to JGMX and Dr. Dew and everybody that put in time and effort to this track and finally got it out to the public. Banger this one. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to go in the description below, download this track, support the creators that make this possible. Like JGMX, for sure, go over to the forum page that this one is on and send them your love, send them nice comments or a nice dono or two if you can. But appreciate you guys stopping by, watching another video here on Start Your Systems, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. So long for now.